Hey everybody, welcome back. Stephen here, Northwest Small Batch Brewing. It is another brew day here in the Northwest Small Batch Brewing Co. headquarters. And I want to do something fun today, something different. I usually just make my own recipes and build from there, but this time I wanted to build a recipe that was a clone of something else. Not that I can't get it, I just thought it'd be something fun to do, something different. So way back before IPAs were huge, or are huge, I should say, there was another style of beer that was huger. Well, I should say IPA just wasn't on the scene. And that was the OG, which is the Pale Ale. The Pale Ale is like the precursor to IPAs. And it was huge. I mean, they were everywhere, and that's what people drank. Anyway, the OG of Pale Ales is none other than Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I don't recall when this came out. It doesn't say on the bottle. But it's old, right? I want to say it was in the 90s sometime. They've been around since around, it says 1980, but the actual Pale Ale I don't think was that old. Might be, I don't know. But this is the original, right? And there's lots of videos out there, including my friend Dennis over at Cityscape Brewing has a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale clone recipe video. So if you want to make this one, after you see mine, of course, go check it out. But I want to do something different. This is a brewery in my neck of the woods. Pretty famous around the United States anyway, at this point. And this is the second iteration of Pale Ale. So this is Sierra Nevada's like big brother, or little brother, whatever. This one was actually based off of Sierra Nevada, and it also became a huge hit here in the Northwest. This is Deschutes Mirror Pond. So that's what I'm making, a Deschutes Mirror Pond Pale Ale clone. We'll see how close I get. Let me go through it real quick for you, and then we'll get to it. So I'm going to use 76% Great Western 2-row, 13.5% Great Western 40, Crystal 40, about 5% American Munich, again, Great Western, about 5% rolled oats, and then I'll throw in some rice hulls, as I always do. I'll get to the hops when I get to the hops and everything else. And until then, let's go. Actually, I should explain. I usually explain this on every video, but in case anybody hasn't seen my videos, no, there's not really any dark malts to worry about in this one. I was going to say usually I mill my dark malt separately because I do an overnight mash, but it won't matter because all I have is lighter malts. So it's a Pale Ale. This is going to be easy. Yeast, I'll get to that as well. Ideally, I wanted to use Ringwood Ale yeast, but I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. I've kind of looked around. I even emailed the local brew shop, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to find it. So I'll let you know what I decide that, that I'm going to use, and we'll go from there. Let's get brewing. Okay, so we got 5.95 pounds of 2-row, 1 pound of Crystal 40, 6.3 ounces of American Munich, and 6.3 ounces of rolled oats, and generous handfuls of rice hulls. Milled up, weighed, and ready to go. All right, I'm at mash temp. I'm doing this one at 147 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour. And at the very end, I will go ahead and turn on the recirculation pump to maintain the temperature. All right, the boil's done. It is time, you know what time, to drain the main grain. I'm up to a boil. I don't think I got a video of it because I hit the picture button instead of the record button. But the first edition is 1.25 ounces of Cascade for 60 minutes. The second edition is half an ounce of Cascade. That's at 30 minutes. Third edition is, you guessed it, half an ounce of Cascade. And this is at the 15-minute mark. And finally, you have half an ounce of Cascade at flame out. The boil's done. Wrap it for protection and set it aside for an overnight chill. Transfer the beer to the fermenter. Add your favorite yeast nutrient. I use Fermade K. And aerate the wort. It's time to add the yeast. I am using Verdant IPA yeast on this one. And I'm adding in a floating dip tube because I'm going to serve right off of this fermenter. I'm just adding the dry hop here, 1/2 ounce of Cascade hops with a magnet, sticking it to the side, ready to drop. And it's about a week, actually I take that back, it's about 4 days before I'm going to actually keg this. So I'm going to slowly drop the dry hops down into the beer. All right, everybody, welcome back. So it is the end of the video here. So I didn't do a pour cam of my beer because I was afraid, well, honestly, I think this video may go a little long. So I'm trying to cut it short. So my version of the beer, let's see, it was a 1055. I was hoping for 1054, so that's pretty spot on. Final gravity, 1008. It went drier than I expected. It was expected to be 1014. So instead of a 5.2, it's a 6.3%. All right, so let's start with this. Right here, the OG, right, of pale ales, Sierra Nevada. All right, I believe both of these beers was made, I don't know how to do this so you can see it better, so you know which one is which. I'll try to put these bottles close to each other. So, I mean, right off the bat, Sierra Nevada looks much more carbonated than my homebrew. Here is the Mirror Pond from Deschutes, which is the second gangster. It's not the original, but all right. Just looking at color. Well, mine got shaken up a little bit. Mine is clearly not as clear, right? It would be. I was going to put gelatin in it, and I don't even want to get into what happened. It just didn't happen. Let's just say that. So it looks like the Sierra Nevada has the most vigorous amount of carbonation. I'll tell you that. And then, of course, the Mirror Pond is not quite as carbonated, but both have the same color. I will say all three have the same amount of color. Now, I did pour mine first here, so the head retention's, going away sooner. Just trying to get these bottles clear. So anyway, for aroma, real quick here. I mean, it just smells like beer. I don't smell a lot of hop aroma on a Sierra Nevada, but we know it's probably dry hopped. In fact, significantly more aroma, even with my allergies. It's very hot and humid and whatnot here today. But the Mirror Pond, much more odor. Interesting. I have a lot on my homebrew as well, but I did dry hop it, which I believe Mirror Pond is also dry hopped. The interesting thing is it smells different, even though it's supposedly the same hops. It does smell a little different. So the Sierra Nevada, boy, this is a tough job, isn't it? Always good, crisp, good amount of bitterness, but not too much. So it's really good for stuff that you want to cut through. I think it pairs really. I think these kinds of beer pair really well with food. The Mirror Pond. I mean, it's pretty much the same. I'm not sure you could really tell a difference between the two, if you had a blind test. I mean, obviously I don't, but if you did, I'm just saying. I don't think you could tell a difference between Sierra Nevada, Mirror Pond. And then mine, wow, I don't hate that. Actually, that's really good. No off flavors. Everything hit on that one, by the way. Let me go one more time through. It's weird because mine, I can see some of the carbonation now. Mine doesn't have as much carbonation as these other two, but it doesn't feel like it's undercarbonated at all. So, Sierra Nevada, OG. Like I said, we all know that one. Well, I mean, it's sold everywhere, so chances are a lot of you have had it. The Mirror Pond, which is, based off of the Sierra Nevada. I think I like the Mirror Pond a little bit better, but there's not a whole lot of difference. There's more, like I said, aroma. I don't know that Sierra Nevada dry hops or not. They might. I just don't know if they do or not. And then mine, like I said, I dry hops because I do know, having seen some videos from the guys over at Deschutes, they definitely dry hop. this mirror punt version. Ooh, I'm getting burps from all the gas, all the CO2. I'm telling you, man, that nails it out of the park. If you're looking for a good pale ale with a little bit of a dry hop, check my recipe down below. That is one of my better beers. Anyway, glad you stopped by. I'm going to try to cut it short so we don't go too long. Check out the recipe. I definitely think it's worth making if you're looking at this kind of beer. I'll be back next week for another video. And until then, thanks for stopping by and being part of the community. And I'll see you soon. Happy brewing.